No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of Monday Night Raw for August the 22nd, 2022. Clash at the Castle, just under 2 weeks away. We kicked off Raw with a brawl. We had Seth freaking Rollins and Riddle fighting in the backstage area, and then they came out into the arena. They were fighting in the crowd. You had the officials there to do the pull apart, and of course, Riddle broke free, went after Rollins. Crowd was chanting, "Let them fight." Good old-fashioned pull-apart brawl to open up Monday Night Raw. Raw was in Toronto, Canada this week. Last Friday, WWE was in Montreal. I have to say, Montreal was a better crowd, but this was still a pretty decent crowd. We had Toronto's own Trish Stratus come into the ring for a promo. She talked about how it feels good to be in her hometown of Toronto, and she said that it feels good to be back in the ring. The crowd was chanting "one more match," and that's when Bayley's crew interrupted. Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. After the commercial break, we had a promo segment. Bayley talked about how they're huge fans, but they wanted to know why Trish was there. And Trish said that she was there to support her fellow Canadian Edge in the main event. And Bayley basically said Trish Stratus is the past. It's their show now. And that's when Bianca Belair arrived. Bianca said that Trish walked so the women of today could run. Bianca said that Bayley should be thanking Trish Stratus and not disrespecting her. And Trish then got on the mic and said that she can go very quickly from being retired to no longer being retired. And Bayley said, well, it's 3-on-2, do your worst. And that's when Alexa Bliss and Asuka arrived, and Bayley backed off and said she'll let them slide for now. And that led to our first match of the evening. We had the women's tag team title tournament, Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Dr. Dakota Scorpio sent in a $2 super chat. He said, quick, somebody check on Vince. You have to wonder what Vince is thinking watching Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and seeing these NXT stars. Some of them he released. Some of them had walked away from the company only to come back. More on that later. I'd love to be a fly on the wall at the home of Vincent Kennedy McMahon when he's watching Raw, just to get his reaction to everything that's going on. Anyways, BTH sent in a $2 super chat, says, wrestling has been great, loving Raw and SmackDown. It's definitely been picking up, that's for sure. I will say this, the fan base has been re-energized, and I feel like the shows have been more entertaining to watch. But anyways, women's tag team title match, and I guess this was the first time in like a decade that Io Sky and Asuka were competing in a ring against each other. They went at it for a bit. The heels worked over Alexa for a while. Asuka then got a hot tag. Things started to break down. Alexa hit a DDT to both Io Sky and Dakota Kai. And then Asuka put on a submission to Kai, but Sky broke it up. Alexa then hit the Twisted Bliss, or at least she tried to, but Dakota Kai got her knees up. Asuka tagged back in, got the Asuka lock on Dakota Kai, but Io Sky had tagged herself back in when Asuka was unaware, and then Io rolled up Asuka and got the 1-2-3 victory. So Io Sky and Dakota Kai now advance into the finals of the women's tag team title tournament. By the way, we had some news regarding the tournament. Unfortunately, Gigi Dolan got injured and Toxic Attraction replaced Nikita Lyons and her tag team partner. I'm forgetting her partner off the top of my head. We're live, pal. Oh, Zoe Stark. They were replaced by Toxic Attraction on Friday. Toxic Attraction won, but unfortunately, Gigi Dolan was injured. So now Toxic Attraction is out of the tournament. And on Friday's SmackDown, there will be a second chance 4-team match with the teams that were knocked out in the very first hour, or the very first round, I should say. And they will be competing on Friday. Winner takes that spot that Toxic Attraction was in. D. Martin 5th sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It says, not too many fans know this, but Asuka and Io were once 2/3 of a stable in Japan known as Triple Tails. I did not know that, but thank you for that, D. Martin 5th. I do appreciate it. And you have to wonder if Vince was in charge, if they're, first of all, if Io would have even been on Raw, and second, would they even have referenced their past? Probably not. We had Finn Balor backstage confronting Dolph Ziggler, said that Ziggler makes him sick. Ziggler attaches to younger stars to stay relevant. Ziggler slapped Balor and then went through the curtain, but came back and asked if Balor was going to get his ass up and get in the ring. And Balor eventually did, and we had our match, Dolph Ziggler versus Finn Balor. Keith Johnson sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Keith. Says, Aaron, do you think the Street Profits are being buried? No, I just think that we're seeing a little bit of a gradual tease for them breaking up at some point and at least splitting. I mean, they might not have a full-blown breakup. We'll see what they do in the draft. The draft should be coming up pretty soon. Would not shock me if they're split up in the draft and they're on separate brands moving forward. We'll see. But that could just be what's going on here, that there's no need to push them as a tag team right now if there are plans to split them up. Finn Balor has new music, by the way, and it's a remix of his old theme song, slower, more heelish. But if you guys follow my Twitter, I did not praise the music. Like, to me, it sounded very generic. Sounded like if you go on YouTube and you choose from one of those royalty theme songs, royalty-free songs, like that's what it was to me. It just didn't stand out at all. I thought it was very bland. But anyways, a lot of people liked it, so what do I know? Ziggler took the Bret Hart corner bump where he goes front first, and he just slammed into that corner. It was pretty brutal. Balor worked over Ziggler for a while. Ziggler made his comeback, and he hit a Fameasser. Balor kicked out. Ziggler avoided the coup de grace, hit the zigzag, but once again, Balor kicked out. They traded blows. They did the whole hockey fight deal. Balor then tried to go low. Ziggler hit him with a headbutt. Then, when the referee was distracted, Rhea Ripley took a cheap shot at Ziggler. Balor hit the 1916 and the coup de grace to pick up the victory. Where is Bobby Roode? And you know what? They could keep Roode and Ziggler as a tag team, but they're baby faces this time, and let Roode have his old music back. At the very least, we need Roode with his old music back. Like, what are we doing here? Where's Bobby Roode? Backstage, Aaliyah was cutting a promo when she was interrupted by Bayley's crew. And Bayley asked where Raquel Gonzalez was. Aaliyah said it's none of their business. And Io said that it was dumb for Aaliyah to be there by herself. But then Trish Stratus walked in and said that Aaliyah wasn't alone. And then Aaliyah challenged Bayley to a match. Bayley's first official match since coming back, by the way. And that was a little bit later in the show. Adam Pearce was backstage looking for Dexter Lumis as this was all going on. More on that in a few. We had Bobby Lashley teaming up with AJ Styles. Lashley is the United States champion against The Miz and Ciampa. Lashley and Ciampa were working together. They were doing a good job. Lashley tossed Ciampa to the outside onto The Miz. After the commercial break, Miz and Ciampa took control of the match. Lashley eventually got a hot tag. Miz ended up pulling Ciampa out of the ring to save him from the spear. Things started to break down. Styles hit a forearm over the top onto Miz, and then all of a sudden, a guy attacked AJ Styles at ringside, but it was not Dexter Lumis. It was some mystery guy, and you had the officials dragging him away, the security, the riot squad. And I guess this was a decoy because the real Dexter Lumis showed up on the other side of the ringside area, and he grabbed Miz, put him in a chokehold, and then literally dragged Miz into the concession area. I believe he kidnapped him, is what Dexter Lumis did. Dexter Lumis taken away. The Miz, and I guess this was a disqualification. Match was thrown out, and poor Ciampa, he got beat up. He got taken down with the phenomenal forearm, and then Lashley hit the spear, and that was that for Ciampa. Then we had a big surprise. Something that I think a lot of people were not expecting on this show. It was certainly not something that was reported on by any outlets, really. Johnny Gargano is back. We thought maybe he would show up in Cleveland the other week, but he's back here on Monday Night Raw. Again, if only I could be a fly on the wall and see Vince McMahon's reaction. So, yeah, this was pretty cool. Johnny Gargano back on Raw as a surprise, just coming out there out of nowhere, no tease or anything. He just shows up, and the Toronto fans gave him a pretty nice ovation. I think this was a good city to have him appear. Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Walter. I appreciate it. Walter says, say yes to no DQ. Like and share hashtag stick to my shtick. By the way, I accidentally skipped over a segment, so I will get back to that in just a moment here. I want to talk about Johnny Gargano, so we're going to do that first, and then I'll backtrack to the segment I missed. Dr. Dakota Scorpio sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, in NXT, you got people getting hurt and jumped in the parking lot, and now on Raw, you got stalkers and kidnapping taking place. LOL. Well, that's just the way Dexter Lumis is. He's a nut job, a nut bag, and you really do not know what to expect from him. So anyways, I'm going to talk about Johnny Gargano, and then I will backtrack from what happened earlier, the segment I missed. Gargano cut this great promo. You know, he talked about how he was kind of a big deal in NXT, and he listed off all of his accomplishments, winning all the championships, winning the tag team titles in Toronto at that arena, something Bank Arena, Scotiabank Arena, I think is what it's called. I was there for SummerSlam 2019 and that takeover. So he said that he had questions. He wasn't sure where he was going to end up, if he was even going to wrestle anymore. But he said that he had his dreams. He wanted to win the Intercontinental title, the United States title, and the WWE title. Wanted to compete at WrestleMania. And he said that if you can put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. But then he was interrupted by his former friend in NXT, Theory, the current Money in the Bank contract holder. Theory got the "Who's Your Daddy" chants from the fans and said that a lot of things have changed. He's accomplished all the things that Gargano wanted to accomplish. And now, in a way, Theory is the veteran. Theory said maybe Gargano can carry his bags, or better yet, Gargano can carry Theory's Money in the Bank briefcase. And then Theory said he can show Gargano the way. Or maybe Gargano can go away. Gargano responded by laying out Theory with a super kick, and he got this big reaction from the fans. And yeah, this was all great. Awesome segment here. Nice surprise. It's not often that I'm surprised by something. Like, I heard the music and I was like, what? Johnny Gargano is back? And he did come out to Rebel Heart. I should note that. Wasn't some random generic song. He got to come out to his old song. Very nice segment here. Loved it. No complaints. Now, let me back up a little bit. A segment I forgot to talk about. Chad Gable and Otis came to the ring for an open challenge. They're accepting new students in the Alpha Academy, which I wonder if we're going to see something in the coming weeks with somebody joining the group. He said some nasty things about Canada, and that was basically the setup for Kevin Owens to answer the open challenge. Of course, he got a big ovation in Canada. Owens dominated. Gable slipped to the outside of the ring, and Gable managed to get the upper hand. He suplexed Owens on the floor. They both ended up on the apron. Owens was back body dropped on the apron, and then Gable suplexed him on the apron. Later on in the match, you had Owens making a comeback. They traded blows. Owens hit a big frog splash, but Gable kicked out. Gable then hit a top rope headbutt, but Owens kicked out. Gable went for the moonsault, but he missed. Owens then hit the pop-up power bomb and picked up the victory. Otis immediately jumped Owens after the match. Owens hit a stunner to Otis and powerbombed Gable onto Otis. Crowd was going crazy for KO. And by the way, when Owens was being attacked, there was a Sami chant. So the fans are already thinking it. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens reunion. So yeah, this was Kevin Owens being a babyface. Will it last? That remains to be seen. Was this just a 1 week thing for Canada? Who knows? But I'm still hoping. I think Triple H knows what he's doing, and you have to think we're going to see that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn reunion sooner than later. Anyways, backstage, Damien Priest cut a promo basically saying he is going to send Edge back into retirement. And then we had our main event of the evening, Damien Priest versus Edge. Beth Phoenix was at ringside, Edge's wife. You had a feeling out process. Edge, of course, very over in Canada. Edge shoved Priest down. Edge escaped to the outside of the ring. Edge went after him. Edge powerbombed Priest on the barricade. And Edge went up to the top, jumped onto Priest on the outside of the ring. Crowd was chanting, "Holy shit," loving to see Edge in action for the first time in a decade. But then Priest recovered. Priest gave Edge the Razor's Edge through the announce table, and that's when Priest took control of the match for a while. Priest hit the unprettier busting out Christian's move, but Edge kicked out. So Edge used Priest's South of Heaven move, but Priest kicked out of that. And then the referee ended up being knocked out of the ring. Priest went for the chairs, was going to hit the concerto, but he missed. Edge broke off a piece of the chair, put on the crossface with the piece of the chair for leverage, but the referee was still down. Edge went for a spear. Priest hit him in the head with that piece of the chair. Referee came to, of course, but Edge did kick out. Good near fall here because the crowd thought for a moment Edge was going to get screwed in his hometown. And then Edge came back from that. Edge busted out a Canadian destroyer. They were in Canada, so why not? And then Edge hit the spear and picked up the 1-2-3 victory. After the match was over, Rhea Ripley came into the ring with a low blow, and Finn Balor hit the coup de grace, but then Beth Phoenix got into the ring and grabbed the chair. She held them off. They backed down, and I could definitely see a mixed tag team match coming up here. Edge and Beth Phoenix against maybe Damien Priest and Rhea Ripley, or Balor and Rhea Ripley. Christian's in AEW, so unfortunately no E&C reunion, at least for now. Not sure how long Christian's contract is for, but I would not rule it out one day. Maybe Christian and Edge will reunite in WWE one more time. So all in all, good show. I was not blown away by maybe the first half of the show. I thought it was decent, but didn't really have me on the edge of my seat. But I will say this, the last hour was really strong. Johnny Gargano's appearance, main event, I thought was very well done. And I did like the stuff with Trish, but I felt like it maybe dragged on a little bit. They are teasing something with Trish Stratus, maybe her and Bayley having a match at some point. They definitely teased it. You have to think that at some point she'll do another match, and that would be a good one. Trish versus Bayley. I say go for it. Hamp Kano with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Hamp. Says, today in history, 1999, Mankind wins his third WWE title in a triple threat match versus Steve Austin and Triple H with special referee Jesse the Body Ventura, or Jesse the Mind Ventura as he was at that time. But to me, like, the more memorable moment was the night after when Triple H beat Mankind and became the WWE champion. And by the way, Damian Priest, like Balor, also has a remix of his old theme song. And I thought it was better than Balor's. Balor's, I thought, really sounded bland. But Priest's, I was a little bit more vibing with. A little bit. Still not great or anything, but it was all right. So overall, I really enjoyed Raw for the most part. And I'm going to give it a B+. Very good show, especially the last hour I thought was really strong. And I like the Dexter Lumis stuff too. You know, not a whole lot of stuff that I thought was lackluster. The wrestling was certainly good during the first hour and a half. I just Thought it was pretty standard. Not a whole lot happening other than Trish showing up. But all in all, a very strong show. I think I forgot to mention Aaliyah versus Bayley too. I skipped over like a whole bunch of stuff here. So my bad. Aaliyah and Bayley was pretty basic match. Bayley mocked Trish Stratus, and then Aaliyah hit the Trish Bulldog on the outside of the ring. Aaliyah got in some offense, but it was essentially a showcase for Bayley. Bayley with a little heel tactic, grabbed the hair and hit the rose plant to pick up the victory. So yeah, I did forget to mention that. It was fine. And there were less commercials in the third hour. People were pointing that out. Not much reaction for Aaliyah, and it was her hometown, and I was wondering, why is she on Raw? But, she's Canadian as well, so they threw her out there. Hamp Connell sent in a $5 super chat with another Today in History note. 1999 Lions Den weapons match, which was not as good as their parking lot brawl at Fully Loaded. Was that Steve Blackman versus Ken Shamrock? I still think the best Lions Den match was the Owen Hart one from SummerSlam 98. And remember the one that Vince actually won? Didn't he beat Ken Shamrock in a Lions Den match? Aye, that's Vince McMahon for you, right? Building Nexus with a $2 super chat says, do you think Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns has WrestleMania implications? Man, I don't know about that one. I think anything is possible at this point. And I've been saying this for the longest time. Regardless of what happens at Clash at the Castle, I think you can do The Rock versus Roman Reigns, whether it's for the title, whether it's just a match without a championship. I don't think it needs a title. I could really see that going either way, and I don't think that the outcome of Clash is necessarily going to mean anything as far as Roman Reigns' WrestleMania match goes. Dustin Herrick sent in a $2 super chat, says, do you think we'll have more Click and DX Cody? Not sure what he's saying here. You think we'll have more Click/DX hired Cody Hall? Well, if you're asking me if they're going to hire Cody Hall, I mean, never say never, but I think if he was going to be signed by WWE, he would have by now. I mean, I'm not sure how old he is, but I suppose it's always a possibility. I would never rule anything out. All in all, I did enjoy Raw. Like I said, B+, very good show. I think it's worth checking out, at least most of the show, especially the Johnny Gargano debut in the main event and Trish's appearance. So yeah, a good chunk of the show I thought was noteworthy. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the very latest. Cody Hall is 31, by the way, so it could still happen. Would not rule it out. Anyways, guys, take care. Enjoy your week. NoDQ.com will keep you updated on things. And remember to say yes to NoDQ.com. See you all next time.